So this is again related to polity, and with reference to the anti-defection law, consider the following statements. So it is about the anti-defection law that you must be aware. You must be aware of the situation of Aaya Ram Gaya Ram. It's a famous quote which is often discussed when a person or a leader changes a political party just for his personal gains or political ambitions. So let's go ahead with the question. So the law is contained in the 10th schedule. First thing. Second option is the decision regarding disqualification is made by the election commission. Third, the decision of the speaker or chairman is subject to judicial review. Now again, this question requires the knowledge base. You cannot reject a statement or eliminate a statement just based on your subconscious mind that this cannot be taken into consideration, this is an extreme statement and something like that. That won't be working here. So let's go ahead with the answer. The law is contained in the 10th schedule. Yes, it is correct. The law is in the 10th schedule. Anti-defection law is in the 10th schedule. Second, the decision regarding disqualification is made by the election commission. No, here the disqualification decision is made by the speaker or chairman, whoever is the presiding officer of that house in the state legislature or in the Lok Sabha. So if anti-defection clause comes into place, then the decision lies in the ambit of the presiding officer. So the second option is incorrect. Moving on to third, the decision of the speaker or chairman is subject to judicial review. Yes, it is subject to judicial review. By further provisions and amendment, it has been introduced that if suppose there were instances when the presiding officer was a part of the ruling party in which the MPs or the MLAs have defected, so they used to work in favor of the political party, but in ideal scenario they should be non-partial. So इसलिए जुडिशियल रिव्यू का क्लॉज लाया गया कि जुडिशियल रिव्यू से एक्चुअली होगा क्या, द फेयर यूज ऑफ दिस लॉ विल बी मेड. इसलिए द ऑप्शन 3 इज करेक्ट. द डिसीजन ऑफ स्पीकर और चेयरमैन इज सब्जेक्ट टू जुडिशियल रिव्यू. यस. नाउ मूविंग अहेड टू द पॉसिबल फॉलो-अप्स. The follow-up questions that can be asked is through which amendment act anti-defection law was passed. So it was passed through 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act, which was passed in 1985. So you need to remember this, that 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1985 is for the anti-defection law. The second possible thing that can be asked is what is defection or what constitutes a defection. So I told you what is defection means. An elected leader leaves the political party they won their seat with and joins another party. Matlab, if there is election being held today in a particular state, they have won from one particular party and they got the ticket from one particular party, won the election from that particular party, and after election results were announced and they won, they moved to a different party. This is what is called as defection. I hope this is clear. Now moving on to the next follow-up that can be asked in several examinations, like grounds of defection. Defection किसको कहेंगे? What constitutes defection? एक्चुअल में डिफेक्शन होगा क्या, किसको हम डिफेक्शन कंसिडर करेंगे और किसको इनवैलिड करेंगे. सो द फर्स्ट थिंग ऑफ डिफेक्शन इज वॉलेंटरी मेंबरशिप रेजिग्नेशन. अगर आपने किसी पार्टी के सिंबल So coming on to the next possible follow-up. So it's for the ground for defection. What can be the probable grounds for defection? So the first is voluntary membership resignation. So I told you that if a particular leader who has won from a particular party and has submitted a resignation from that particular party, then it is a possible ground for defection. The second is disobedience of directions of political party. I hope that you guys must be aware of the whip. The whip issues the direction on behalf of a particular political party to maintain a discipline in a particular party. So if a leader disobeys that direction, then it is a perfect ground for defection. Third is change of party after the election. So I told you that if a leader wins from one particular party and after the election results are announced, he changes or shifts to a different political party, then that constitutes defection. The fourth is a nominated member joins the political party after the expiry of 6 months. So few of or most of you must be aware that there are members in both the state legislatures and in Lok Sabha. The few members are nominated by the president and by the governor in the state legislatures. So if those members join the political party after 6 months of nomination, then it is considered a valid point for defection. Now coming on to the next follow-up, merger exception. So when there is a merger exception clause was introduced so that every defection doesn't count to or lead to disqualification. So the merger exception is the schedule exempts MPs or state legislatures from disqualification if at least 2/3 of the members of party legislative group agree to merge with another political party. So the main point to be remembered is at least 2/3 of the members. So if suppose there are 10 members in a political party who have won the election from one particular party and 2/3 of those 10 members is willingly moving to a different party, then in that scenario it won't be considered as a defection and they won't be disqualified from the legislature. It is a valid move, and the clause this merger exception is there in the anti-defection law. Now the last follow-up that I thought that is important to let you guys know, as I mentioned, there is a clause of judicial review to have a fair play. So tomorrow no legislative member can say that it was unfair because the speaker or the presiding officer was from one particular ruling party. So in Quixote Holohan case, Supreme Court mentioned that it is the discretionary power of presiding officer to decide if it is a valid defection or an invalid defection, but an judicial review option was kept open so that it should be looking as a fair to everyone. It should be fair to both the parties. Like there shouldn't be an open-ended question that someone favored someone. So that's why the judicial review option was kept open. Now moving on to the next question. So I told you that the questions will vary and it will cover every area so that your mind can juggle and think in different areas at once. So this question is related to I guess geography. So let's solve this. So the question is population density calculated using the area of arable land as the denominator is called as. The first is physiological density, the second is arithmetic density, the third is agricultural density, and fourth is net density. So at the start of the session, I told you about the elimination method where we can eliminate the options if possible, and if our subconscious mind, by applying it in a particular way, we can eliminate the options. But what I can say here is I can eliminate only one of it. That is option D, net density. So net density is altogether a different thing. So the correct option will be either A, B or C. In these situations you cannot do hit and trial. You will have to know what it's like a formula. So you'll have to know the exact formula of what the question is asking. So the answer here is physiological density. Okay, I hope you guys are pausing the video and solving the question, and then as I am proceeding with the discussion, you are then using it to increase your knowledge. Now moving on to the possible follow-ups. So in possible follow-ups, what I could think was of to provide the exact meaning of what the options was. So in the possible follow-ups, I would say, what is arithmetic density? It is total population by total land area. Physiological density is total population divided by arable land. Agricultural density is agricultural population divided by arable land. So you cannot do much about these questions. If you have the knowledge or if you have read somewhere, you'll solve it. It's a sure shot. So it's like a mathematical formula. You'll have to learn these. Now the another follow-up, the most important follow-up I found it to mention here is the values can be given and asked to calculate the type of density. So in certain examinations, they can ask you the numerical value of physiological density when they have they'll give you total population and the arable land, and you will have to divide them and reach out to a particular number. The trick there that depends upon the level of difficulty in those particular examinations would be that to just to let you calculate the physiological density, they can give you the agricultural population as well as total population. So you can be confused that which population to be taken in consideration. So that's how, if you remember the formula, then it would be great and you can solve it in one shot. Moving ahead to the fifth question and the last question of our session is, which characteristic makes black soil particularly suitable for cotton cultivation? So the question relates to geography, and the 2 points that you can figure from question is related to black soil and cotton cultivation. Now coming to the options, the first option is high water retention capacity. Second is very high sand content. Third is very low clay content. And last is high acidity. I hope you guys are have paused the video and working on the answers. Now I would say the answer is option A, high water retention capacity. So the black soil has very high water retention capacity due to the considerable amount of clay present in the black soil, which makes it suitable for cotton cultivation. So the answer is option A, high water retention capacity. Moving ahead with the possible follow-ups. So the possible follow-ups that I thought was, the first is I saw in one particular examination where it was asked, why does black soil develop deep cracks? So आपने देखा होगा कि cracks, बहुत बड़े बड़े cracks होते हैं, which is not like in the Deccan Plateau when the photos emerge during droughts or the summer season. आपने देखा होगा बहुत बड़े बड़े cracks होते हैं, and but in the Gangetic Plains उतने बड़े cracks नहीं होते हैं. तो what is the reason for that? So I thought it can be a probable question. So the first thing I told you is the black soil contains significant amount of expansive clay materials. Okay, so the clay material जो होता है वो बहुत भारी मात्रा में होता है black soil में. When dry, moisture evaporates, causing the clay to shrink and split open. तो जब वो clay पानी सोखता है मानसून में, it has absorbed the moisture or water content and it retains the moisture during the winter times. But जैसे ही summer आता है, what happens is the clay is present in significant amount. So the moisture present in that clay evaporates, and when the moisture evaporates, the clay shrinks. वो सिकुड़ जाता है, clay सिकुड़ जाता है, इसकी वजह से बड़े बड़े दरारें ओपन हो जाती है. So this is the possible reason why the cracks appear in black soil. So I hope you guys must be checking how the reverse engineering works. So we have only seen photos of black soil जहाँ पे बड़ी बड़ी दरारें हैं, but never thought of why only black soils have this deep cracks. So the reason is when we go backwards and see what is the condition, what is the nature of that soil. So we found that it retains the moisture, it has captured the moisture, and during summer when that moisture evaporates, the clay shrinks, and that's how the cracks are built up. So this is the most important follow-up question related to black soil. The second is the black soil production. So the parent rock for black soil production is basalt, and it is formed from the cooled lava flows, the igneous rock. It is also known as the fissure volcanic rock. So due to the weathering, due to the weather effect of heat, cold, rain and air, the weathering process happens, and during this weathering, the cool lava rocks, they weather into different small particles, and that's how the black soil is formed. Coming on to the next follow-up, in many one-day examinations you can come across the word regur soil. So it is just to confuse you, but you must be aware that black soil is also considered as the regur soil, and it has a good water holding capacity. And apart from water holding capacity that we saw from the question, it is rich in minerals like lime and iron. So these two particular minerals are in rich quantities in black soil, that is lime and iron. So a statement can state that the black soil has only good water retention capacity but no significant amount of other minerals. That statement straight away you can reject if you have the knowledge that it also contains lime and iron. Now the another probable question that I found it to it can come in another examination is, does black soil capable of producing cotton only, or is it capable of any other crops, और क्या दूसरे क्रॉप्स भी पैदावार होती है उस ब्लैक सॉइल में. सो यहाँ पे आई केम अक्रॉस द ऑप्शंस ऑफ wheat, sugarcane, jowar, linseed, tobacco and various oil seeds. So when a statement comes that क्योंकि cotton जो है it's like in the limelight, so you capture things in the limelight, so black soil is often related to cotton, so you are aware that cotton is grown in the black soil, but you are not aware that even black soil is capable of growing wheat, sugarcane, jowar, linseed, tobacco and various other oil seeds. So this is an important question that can be asked in several examination through statements or one-liners. Okay. Now moving on to the next follow-up, where is this black soil mainly found? So the location is, I thought it is important for one-day examination. So the black soil is mainly and prominently found in Deccan Plateau region, that includes Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. So I guess you guys must be having a map of India and the region of Deccan Plateau with the states that I mentioned right now, and think that not only the cotton is grown in these areas, even wheat, sugarcane, jowar, linseed and tobacco is also grown in these particular areas. So this brings us to the end of the session 1 for exam se concept. I hope you must have felt how the reverse engineering is working. We have only solved 5 questions, but the intent and the intensity of follow-ups and the questions that can be formed from particular options is equivalent to solving 30 or 35 or 40 odd questions, separate questions that can be asked in different examinations, either in one-liner or it can be asked in statements where you'll have to select if a particular statement is correct or not. So that's how exam say concept works. We work backwards. We take the questions from relevant examinations or reputed examinations and break them into different parts and see what probable questions can be asked in future examinations. So it's like working backwards. I told you about the reverse engineering, and that's why the name signifies exam say concept. We'll build concept through examinations. I hope you liked the way this is progressing, and I told you in the starting of the session that we'll be working on the compounding effect. So maybe it looks like only 5 questions, but these 5 into 5 every day or over a period of time can create a big learner mindset, and a knowledge base can be created which can be helpful in solving different questions or in clearing different examinations. So thank you for attending this session. I hope you liked it, and thank you for taking out the time for solving these questions and working together and listening to the discussion part. So the last slide mentions that decode questions, master concept. That's how the tagline of our exam say concept works. We will decode questions from reputed examinations and then master the concept, one concept at a time, because every question matters. Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you. Have a good day.